Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Um, I wanted to come on here today and talk about getting better date offers. I was prompted to think about this because I myself have been sifting through a lot of coffee date and drink date offers, and I just have really just stayed focused, and have been patient and been uh just holding the line, basically. Like, my standard is what it is, my requirements are what they are. And so I just have not allowed myself to get frustrated with all of that lowball offers. But in the midst of that, the better date offers started to come through, have already started to come through. So, like, last weekend I went to a really, really, really nice Italian restaurant, and I've been wanting to go there for a while. Um, I went there and it was very, very nice. The food was good, the ambiance was wonderful, it was beautiful, and the service was okay. It was just okay. So yeah, I went there, and then of course with, like, the guy I've been dating on and off for a while, we've been going out on nice dates. Um, we should be going somewhere to a show tomorrow. And I have a lunch date scheduled for this week. Another guy wants to take me to dinner next weekend. Um, and then another, and I have a few guys are just literally just waiting for me to give them a day and a time, and they're ready to take me either to dinner or lunch, a show, or whatever. So I went through about 52 drink offers. So at a minimum, I have had guys say, "Hey, I'd like to take you for a drink or coffee." About 52 of them. Okay. And I'm underestimating, but I have gotten about 7 dinner date offers, right? So it's a numbers game if you really think about it. Um, it's just, that just is what it is. It's a numbers game. So don't be discouraged and don't think that you have to go out on a drink date like, oh, that's just what it is right now. No, it's not like that. It's like that for a lot of guys, but for a lot of guys it is not. Um, a lot of it has to do with resources, as in, either A, they are dating too many women to where they cannot afford to take you out, to a dinner, because they're trying to date too many women at one time. Or it's financial, and the fact that they just ain't got no money, they're broke and they're dusty and they just don't have it. Like, going to spend $200 on dinner for them is um soul crushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will put their account in the negative because they don't have $200 to spend on dinner, or $300 to spend on dinner, or four or $500 to spend on dinner. They're not buying bottles, they're not valeting, they're not doing any of that. And so that's just not anything that they're trying to do. Okay, that's one. And then another big reason why the drink and the coffee date offers come is because the guy is really just not that into you. And he would do it for somebody else. Like, maybe he would take a woman that he really is into onto dinner, but he's really not that into you, but he wants to just see what he can get, see how desperate you are, see, maybe he's bored and he wants you to entertain him. Maybe you're kind of pretty and he just wants to be seen in public with a woman. Whatever. He just wants to extract something from you, but he doesn't want to give you anything. And so that's why they want to take you to coffee or to a drink. Sometimes they're just stingy. Sometimes they're very cheap and frugal. So the cheapness and the frugalness really does not change. throughout the relationship. It's not like they're going to start off cheap and frugal and then transform into a generous man over time. That typically no, that doesn't happen. So for all those reasons are the reasons why you avoid coffee and drink date offers, because they're very low. They're just low ball and they're just low effort, and you're really not setting yourself up for good treatment. You're not setting yourself up for to start off on the right tone. You know what I mean? Um, to be able to test his generosity from the very beginning, and also does he have any desire to impress you? Obviously, a coffee shop is not impressive. It's not special. It's not nice. And there's no, there's just literally no room for making an impression or impressing you. And so, giving you the signal that, hey, I don't care what you think about my date. I don't really care what you think about me. I really, you know, I'm not trying to impress you. That is a bad sign, and it's not gonna go anywhere that you want it to go if he's not trying to impress you. Um, and that just is what it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I went on a, really nice lunch date, oh gosh, was it this week or week before? Maybe it was just this past week, maybe, like, early in the week, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Oh, man, I think it was Monday, actually, Monday. That was a really nice lunch, and then one thing that he did that I really liked, we had our lunch and we were getting ready to go, and I needed to use the ladies' room, and then when I went to use the ladies' room, he pulled my car. He had the valet pull my car, and so it was raining that day, and so by the time I was, had come out, it was like I was reaching for my ticket. He'd already called the car, walked me to the car, tipped the valet, and was like, and that was just very thoughtful. And so, anyway, like he was literally trying to impress me, right? So there's that. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And another thing that was really promising about this guy is that I was like, yeah, what about lunch? And then we were figuring out a day. And then he picked this restaurant. I mean, it's a really nice restaurant, valet only, nice side of town, everything. He's the one who picked that restaurant. So obviously, if he's the one who picked this restaurant, which I had dined there maybe like 2 weeks prior to this date with my other friend. But so he's the one who picked it, so then he's already trying to impress. Or this is just his lifestyle, right? This is just what he does. This isn't anything special. So when you're dealing with someone who's like more on a dusty level and you name off, an expensive restaurant or somewhere nice that you want to go and they're like, "Oh, that's for special occasions." And they're giving you all this pushback like, "Oh, you what's one of the things that they have? Gosh, I forgot it. Something like a foodie or um I forgot. There's some derogatory term that they have for women who request, nice venues for nice restaurants for dates. But for them, it's appalling because it's not their everyday lifestyle. It's not places that they go and spend time. It's not in their comfort zone. It's not in their price range. It's not in their budget. And so for them, that's why they're so appalled. That has nothing to do with you. Um, that has everything to do with them. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to go to nice places. You just have to connect with the man who frequents those places naturally. That's just where he likes to go. Or even if he's more of a casual diner, he is wanting to impress you. So he'll take you wherever you want to go. You know what I mean? All right. So, so I talked about what these coffee and drink dates mean. And then another little side note that I wanted to add was just like compliments. Um, I know I'm just one person, but I feel like I've been through thousands of profiles at this point over the past 2.5, 3 years or so. like I've been through thousands of profiles and thousands of initial conversations at this point in the journey. And what I can tell you is that men who do not compliment you from the very beginning, it usually does not go well. And those are typically going to be your date, those are typically going to be your coffee guys. Those are typically going to be your, hey, let's meet for a drink and see, and let's walk around downtown and talk and enjoy. Though, let's have ice cream. Those are going to be your cheap guys, the guys who do not compliment you. And I think part of the reason, if they even if they think you're beautiful, part of the reason why they don't compliment you is because they don't want to position you in a place of like elevation. They don't want to admit that you're beautiful and you're deserving of to be in a beautiful environment, or that they would be lucky to be seen in public with you, or that they would be so grateful that you would like even give them any time and attention. Those are going to be the guys that are like, hey, how are you, what's up, um you know where do you work, what do you do for a living, um yeah, and they're just literally not going to compliment you, literally, like they just won't. And if they do, it'll be something like, you took some nice pictures, not like you're beautiful, but like, oh yeah, you took nice pictures, or oh yeah, you have a nice style or something like that, but they will not admit that you're beautiful. Usually, I mean, that's just what I have encountered in thousands of profiles and thousands of initial conversations. And of course, they don't really develop to anywhere because that's just my one of my screeners from the very beginning. I'm most interested in men who come out the gate complimenting me, um, saying something very tactful, of course, like you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're stunning, um, wow, those kinds of things. I'm most interested in those kinds of men. Men are very visual, and obviously, uh, you're gonna have to be attracted to the woman to be motivated to want to impress her, to want to treat her nice and all of that. Like they don't really read your bio, not really. They don't. They looking at your pictures. Okay, so that's just a little side note to kind of try to avoid men who want to talk to you like you're a buddy or a friend, and not be like, hey, I'm pursuing you, I'm trying to court you, I'm trying to woo you and seduce you and wow you and impress you. You you want to lean towards guys because those interactions are going to be more worth your time, because part of the reason why women get so frustrated and jaded with the dating process is because they waste so much time. They waste so much time going down the wrong path with the wrong guy. And so that time, is something that you can't get back. So you're better off investing your time and energy um in a situation that has more room to grow, or has more it's more viable, right? Because ultimately you really can't tell 100% if it's going to be great, if it's going to be um lucrative and beneficial to you. You don't have 100% way to know that, but there are little markers, there are little signs, and I try to share all those with you, things to look out for that will help clue you in that it could be beneficial for you. It could be fun, new experiences, new adventures, and to be treated like, really, really well. Um, Now, another side note is this. Okay, so I just kind of went over the fact that I went through over 52 drink offers versus 7 dinner date offers, right? Quality, high quality dinner date offers. Um, if you're not getting any dinner date offers, you need to make some changes. Something is going on. One of the things that could be happening is that your age is too low. You might be you might be searching. You need to change your filter on the age. If you have cut off at 35, you're not gonna probably get any dinner date offers, okay? Actually, no, actually the guy that I went out with the other day was in his 30s. Some hot shot who, moved from a bigger city and trying to flex and stuff like that. Um, so, rarely you'll get those 30-year-old guys that have money that they want to spend, but that's not very common. Okay. So you're going to have to raise your age limit just depending on how old you are. So if you're in your early 20s, you probably need to aim for 40s. If you're in your 30s, you probably need to aim for 50s, late 40s and 50s, right? And if you're in your 40s, you probably need to go in the 60s. Okay. That just is what it is. So if you're not getting any quality date offers, which means a show, a live show, dinner, something experiential. I hope I said the ex experiential. I don't know. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Anywho, you should be getting those kinds of offers. If you're not getting any of them, you have to make some changes. So you have to look at the age range. You need to look at the demographics. Where are you searching? Do you live in the hood? Do you live near a dusty area? Do you live, even if you're in a nice area, are there dusty areas surrounding you, like in your immediate vicinity? Because if so, you need to change your location settings to the affluent area of town, to nicer areas of town, so that you can so that you can be seen by better quality men. Um, Now, that means you might have to spend some money on an app. Now, I would say this because it can get expensive. Pick one app that you have had the most success in and just focus on at least paying for premium for that one app. Okay, if you ballin', then you can, pick a few apps. But I just want to keep it simple. I just want to keep it simple for you right now. So just focus on the one app that you've had the most success on and let that be the one app that you pay for the premium. When you pay for premium, you have the ability to change your location. You have the ability to have way more filters, right? So you can filter out for education, right? You can filter only graduate degrees and PhDs. And so that's the only guys that you're going to deal with. If you filter out for graduate school and PhD, you are going to get way higher quality men who are making good money, okay? I'm not saying like trust me, one of my guys now has a bachelor's degree. He has a multi-million dollar company. I'm not saying that men with a bachelor's degree don't make money. One of the guys I'm dating, he has a bachelor's degree and like I said, a multi-million dollar company. So it doesn't preclude them, but I'm trying to like help you save time. So if you want a quick way to meet high income men, filter for education. Okay. You're going to choose graduate degree and PhD and above. Don't choose anybody that's in school because they ain't got no money. So if they say they're in grad school, just skip them. And they're like, oh well, he might have money one day. Listen, ladies, you want a man who's already made, okay? You don't want to, you don't want to be with someone who is on the come up because he might come up and come off of you. You know what I'm saying? He might come up and then be over you and then get the woman he really wants because you were willing to slum it out with him when he was like in grad school and didn't have no money, and then now he's got the money and then he may not really be that into you. A lot of guys don't have loyalty like you think they do. Not saying that people don't do that. People do that, but I mean, the chances and you just kind of eliminate the chance of wasting your time if you just find a man that's already made, who's already established, who's already well into his career, who's already making money, right? Because if he has money, he has status, he has career, and he chooses you, he wants you. You understand what I'm saying? He wants you because he can have a lot of women. but he wants you. He already is established, so it's more sure that way. So anywho's filter out for education, change your location. And then if not working, you need to look at your profile. Your pictures are not leveled up enough. You need to level up your pictures. No plain Jane pictures. Plain Jane women get invited to coffee. Okay? Don't let some of these pick on here tell you that you can just be natural and don't wear no makeup and just do what you want to do and they're going to love you for you. Like, okay, those are the women who pay bills and those are the women who go to coffee. Okay? If you want to do that, then go do that. But if you are interested in going to five-star restaurants and having ballet and going out of town and going to concerts and going to exclusive art openings and da 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 da, if you're interested in doing those kinds of things, you can't be a plain Jane. You have to put energy and effort into your look. You have to get your makeup together. You got to get your hair, your wig, your whatever you got. You got to get it laid right. You have to be in beautiful environments and level up your pictures. Do you have plain Jane pictures? Are you taking selfies in your car? Are you taking selfies in the mirror? Don't have those kinds of pictures on your page. Okay, because it just says like, oh, she's low effort. She hasn't put any effort into herself. So why should I put any effort into the date? Why should I spend $300 on dinner? Why? Because she hasn't spent any, there's just no incentive. There's no incentive because when you look a certain way and you carry yourself a certain way, you don't have to say that you're high maintenance. You don't have to explicitly say that you like the finer things in life. You don't have to explicitly say that you're only interested in, luxury experiences because your looks speak for you. You understand the way you carry yourself, your nails, your skin, your hair, your attire. And I'm not talking about labels. It's not about, having, a Chanel bag or anything. It's not about that. It's about how meticulously you have invested into your appearance. One thing that I was thinking about the other day is just something about having your nails done. Something about having your nails done, it looks like you don't do hard labor. You know what I'm saying? Like when your nails are manicured and done, it's very obvious that you do not do like manual hard labor. It's just like you're not a workhorse. It's very obviously you're not a workhorse because look how beautiful your nails are. Obviously, you're a kept woman. You're living luxuriously. You really care about your appearance and you do delicate things. Like maybe you type on a computer or, you do something very delicate, but you're not doing manual hard labor. You don't open doors, you don't pick up heavy stuff, you don't do the heavy lifting, you don't do any of that. And you don't have to explicitly say that. Just having your nails together says it all. Having, a little bit of jewelry on, not too much, just enough says everything that you need to say. Classic pieces says everything that you need to say. It speaks for you that you don't have to articulate these things. And then people, more than men, people in general respond accordingly and treat you the way you're treating yourself, which is you're maintaining yourself to a high standard, right? You're maintaining yourself to a high standard. So what does that translate to people looking at you? It translates to high maintenance. She's maintaining herself at a high level. She must be high maintenance, right? When you're talking about things that you've done and you're talking about, places that you like to go or that you've been before, um and if you can just, those things just roll off your tongue, then obviously that's the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. That's where you go. That's what you do. So if you were here last weekend and oh you like, some specific genre music or some specific food and you pronounce it correctly and it just rolls off the tongue and that's just what you do, then it's very obvious that no one can be like, oh, do you want to go to Chili's, right? Because with you dressed the way you're dressed and looking the way you look, and the fact that you had just been to this really great thing last weekend, why Chili's is not the next logical step to that, right? That's nowhere in the trajectory where you would be going, or what's your next step. Or if anyone's interested in impressing you, they obviously cannot drag you down and bring you back to somewhere that you don't frequent, that you don't go. And it just does, like, which one of these pieces does not belong? The Chili's does not belong. So, I just wanted to kind of say, like, if you're not getting any offers, something is wrong with the profile. Something is wrong with the profile. Something is wrong with either the age, the location, or your pictures. Something has to change. Oh, well, I mean, also don't be negative, I guess, in your your bio. Be very positive. Be very positive, and be very positive when you speak. Even if they try to be negative, like, oh, there's so many flaky people on this app, like, what has been your impression? How have things been going for you? Try not to answer that question. Try to skirt around it and just be like, everything's fine. I'm so glad I'm talking to you. I think I've talked about that in previous videos as well. Anytime a guy tries to fish out information about what you're doing, who you're dating, who you're talking to on the app, who you're talking to, bring it back to him. Bring it back to him and talk about what you guys are going to be doing, where y'all going, what's y'all's next date, what does he like to do, how does he feeling about the interaction. Bring it back to you, bring it back to him, and bring it back to y'all's relationship together. Even if it's just, we just met yesterday, it's still a budding relationship. Bring it back to that. Most guys who have common decency are not going to press the issue of, like, trying to talk about other men when you want to talk about him. You want to talk about him, but he wants to talk about another man. I'm not That has happened before, but those those guys tend to not have common decency, right? And so you wouldn't want them anyway. Most men take the hint. If they're decent men, they'll take the hint. Like, I'm not about to talk about another man with you. I'm about to talk about you. Okay. So be positive. Just be positive. Save your criticisms for your girlfriends, even if you had a crappy date. Even if things are going horrible, even if you keep getting coffee date offers, even if you get ghosted, even if you get stood up, even if you get catfished, even if whatever, don't bring negativity into what could be a positive situation. Just pretend like everything is going great. Okay. And just keep it positive. Don't be like, I don't want no broke dusties swiping on me. If you don't make such and such amount of money, don't even bother. I don't want to go on no coffee date. You don't have to explicitly say that. Again, ladies. You don't have to explicitly say that. If you look like you're not going to accept that, and then when they offer it, just don't respond. I mean, that's usually been what I've been doing. I used to have all these acrobatics about, how to get out of it, and I have definitely finagled many a men into dinner dates or lunch dates who initially offered me coffee. But I'm at the point now that I, like, kind of don't want to do that, because it's too many. It's too many inquiries to sift through. And uh, when it comes to generosity, I'll say this is what I've learned. When it comes to generous men who have, invested in me and things like that, those are not the guys that I have had to finagle or finesse a dinner date out of. The most lucrative situations for me have been men who came out the gate um, wanting to take me wherever I want to go, or just do whatever I want to do, or offering me up something that they think would be worthy of my attention. Right? Those have been the lucrative dates. And so I think for me, that's kind of why I don't invest any energy into um, transforming a coffee date offer into a dinner or lunch date offer, because those guys don't tend to be that generous anyway. If you're if you're interested in um, different ways that you can do that, listen to the coffee date. I have a video on coffee dates. Go listen to that video, and I talk in detail about how you can do that. I think at that point in my life, I was just like, I was out of Dustville, right? I was out of Dustville. I was just level up dating, and everything was kind of new and fun. And I was just trying to like literally try every restaurant in the city and like go everywhere that I want to go and like do all the things. And so I kind of was like, I had a bucket list, right? I had things that I wanted to do, I had places that I wanted to go. And so I was kind of getting them by any means necessary, even if I had to finesse a date, even if I had to like finesse a dinner from a coffee, I was willing to do it. Okay. I was willing to do it. But maybe they'll bring flowers, maybe they'll give you a bottle of perfume, or maybe they'll um, take you to get a little something, something, but it's never a lot, it's never, and they can't keep it up. See, like sometimes, like if a guy is like lower income, but he really likes you, he's really attracted to you, he will stretch himself beyond what he really can truly do. And so he can't sustain it, right? He can't. So he'll be like, oh, come to my house, or let's do something. And they'll try to backtrack and kind of go back to something that they can afford, because they started off with something that they could not really afford, therefore it is not sustainable. And then now they're like, oh, let's do this or that. Why do you want to go there? Why, and so just to avoid all that, I just don't do that anymore. But it's totally up to you, depending on where you are in your journey, what it is that you would like to do, what's your next step. If so, like I said, go listen to that video. If I remember, I'll link it in the description box if I can remember, because I do believe that I'll go into detail about that. Hey everybody. So, let me know if you have any questions, or comments, concerns. And I can address a few things. Right now, I'm deep conditioning my hair. um, I'm deep conditioning my hair. I think I'm just gonna sleep with this conditioner in my hair and rinse it off in the morning, honestly, because I just don't feel like dealing with my hair tonight. So I think I want to sleep with the conditioner on and get it off, rinse it off tomorrow, and get my hair prepared. Because I bought a new wig. It's literally like it's like my go-to wig. I like keep ordering this same exact wig. So I'm gonna get my lace cut and all of that jazz. I'll do all that tomorrow because I have a date tomorrow evening on that I'm excited about, because my honey bun, he got VIP tickets. He like upgraded us to these VIP tickets. So like it's like really good seats, and then we also get to meet the artist. I think after the show, we get to meet the artist because he got the VIP ticket. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to really update y'all on. Well, I mean, I can just say that, I mean, I have a lot of I have a lot of things in the pipeline. Like I said, I have a date, a weekday date tomorrow morning. Um, it's so crazy. Like I have two different guys right now that have homes here and homes like in another state. So and lucky for me, they have their travel schedules are the opposite. So like when one's gone, one's here, and when one's here, the other one's gone. So that's great. So I can date both of them. But the one who I went out with this week, I am looking forward to him coming back. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting to know him a little bit better. Christmas is coming, ladies, as well as Valentine's Day. So I will be creating some content for you ladies specifically for Christmas. Because I want you ladies to get prepared, and I want you ladies to rake up. I want you ladies raking up for Christmas. Um, So I will be creating some content specifically for that. Just in preparation, preparation for Christmas. And so I know that that's been on my mind, Christmas, and I can be so absent-minded sometimes. And it's like I'm not even trying to be neglectful or anything, but I can totally just get absorbed into something or just, you know, neglectful. And so I'm like, no, I really need to come up with like a better communication plan because Christmas is coming up and I need to be ready. Okay. I need to be ready because this is going to be, in my mind, I have a vision in my mind that this is going to be a very lucrative Christmas season. Okay. Very lucrative. So we need to get ready. We need to get ready, ready, ready for Christmas and everything that we're going to be getting, the things that we want, and all of that jazz. So, there's another guy that I'm really interested in meeting. Because like a lot of the guys that I talk to, they're like, they're older and they're like finished having kids and stuff like that. But I have a couple of guys in the pipeline who either don't have kids or they have like maybe like one kid and they might want more kids or they might just at least want like to settle down. um, yeah. So I'm interested in seeing where that can go. Um, I'm newly back on one of the apps that had been very lucrative for me in the past. And I'm back on there and it's been really great. I mean, I've gotten some interest from really like established men, doctors, lawyers, real estate developers, hedge fund managers, um, investment, what do you call them, brokers or planners or whatever they are. People who deal with like people's portfolios, financial planners. Um, so yeah, I've been getting those kinds of inquiries, medical sales, which y'all know I love. If you know me, if you've been listening to the channel, you know I love medical sales. I love medical sales. Now, I used to not be interested in doctors at all. Like I just would avoid them like the plague, but now I'm like I'm open to it. I have like a new set of doctor friends. Actually, I have quite a few doctor acquaintances and had a play date maybe about 2 months ago or something um, with some kids from my daughter's school, and their parents are both surgeons, and they were really cool. They're really nice people, and I enjoyed hanging out with them. So I guess I've kind of eased up my mindset about doctors. So I'm entertaining doctors at this point. I'll entertain lawyers too, but I don't entertain former law enforcement. I do not entertain really like veterans, not really. Like I don't deal with a lot of people who've been abroad. I don't know. I guess I'm just concerned about, I don't know, post traumatic stuff. I don't know. I'm concerned about that. So I just avoid it usually. I mean, depending on the branch, you know. But I have like reservations about that. Okay. I had a wonderful date this evening with a guy I met earlier this week. I spoke about it on my world. Okay, great. I used your advice to verify his assets, sis. So thank you. He owns a medical facility. Oh my gosh, girl, you are so welcome, and I'm glad that you were able to. Now, if you have my information on vetting for assets, you must have been through my archive, girl. So I thank you for digging back into the archive to find that video because it is a lot of valuable information in that video. There's a lot of very valuable information in that video. And some of the stuff that I'm talking about today about like the compliments and like um like how what they offer to you, how they regard you, how they handle you. That is initial vetting, right? That is the initial vetting because you're trying to see what kind of quality man is he. Is he a generous man? What is his character? What is his nature? Those are the things that we're trying to figure out from a very early standpoint. We don't want to get down into the relationship, way down into the dating, way down into the dating, and then realize that they're stingy. They're resentful. They are bitter. They, have a negative view of women. Um, we're not trying to, we're not even trying to engage with men like that. We want to engage with men who are value us as a woman, who truly desires us. We are their type. We are the type of woman that they want. There's something in us that sparks motivation in them to impress, to provide, to make us secure, all of that. That's what we're trying to attract, and we're trying to weed out the ones who are not on that vibration, who are not on that mission, who are have some other agenda in mind. We're trying to weed those guys out and focus on the men who want us and who are willing to impress. And so then once we do find them, and then, listening skills, and then boom, we can start vetting them, vetting other aspects of them. Yeah, because I've definitely been I've definitely been using um the vetting that I've done with that, and as well as some other stuff, basically to just kind of cross reference what guys are telling me. Um, I can go back and verify it. I can go back and try to get a timeline, try to like make sure that what they're telling me is the absolute truth. Because on a side note, I was telling y'all earlier about getting master's degrees and PhDs, filtering for those for the education to weed out, like lower income guys. Um, I went on a date. It had to have been last year sometime. Um, or no, it was probably earlier this year, maybe in the spring or something. I went out with this guy, and I think he said he went to Yale or Cornell, I think he said he went to Yale or something. And I, he was lying. I just knew it. Having a conversation with him, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, I'm not getting Ivy League vibes from you at all, sir. No, I'm not getting Ivy League vibes. I'm not. I'm quite sure he was lying. So, our filters can get us but so far. But then once we get to the next step, and then do they pass the next level of vetting, the next level, the next level, and the next level? He did not pass my next level because of my discernment. My discernment kicked in. My discernment telling me this man is not Ivy League educated. This man is lying. Who want to punch above their weight level, or they want to get the all the way leveled up woman. They want the beautiful woman. They want the woman who smells good, looks good, wears heels, looks put together. They want that, but they know they're really not, you know, they're kind of like con men in a way, like they know what to say to try to get you, or they try to put on a little bit to try to get you because they know, oh, women of that caliber, they're interested in these things. So I'll say that, I have these things or I've been these places. But it's like, come on, with discernment, you can sift through and you can tell who's BSing versus who's really about that life, who's really living that kind of a lifestyle. Because another thing these dudes are doing is these dudes are saying, I'm successful. Um, I like to spoil my woman, and I've already told y'all spoil is a red flag word, okay? Because usually if they say I like to spoil a woman, they do not like to spoil a woman. They just say that to attract women who want that kind of lifestyle, women who are more naive, new, women into level of dating who are attracted to that particular word. Then once you talk to them, they'll tell you like, I want an independent woman. I want a woman who has her stuff together, or they'll talk about their responsibilities. Oh, I have all these responsibilities. I have all the stuff I have to do. So basically what they're saying is I don't have the money to really spend on you like that. Um I don't have money to take you out wherever you want to go, and I don't have that kind of money, but I do want a woman of your stature. I do want a woman of your level. And so a lot of times they'll say like I'm successful in my career, and or I'm successful financially, da 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 da, man. And then once you start talking to them, the dust comes out, right? And it even if it's just chatting on the app, like the dust starts spewing out of their mouth, like just dusty stuff, and like they want to do dusty things, and they start asking you about your job and what you do. Um, oh, you working that part time, or is that full time? Like they really, really want to know, like they're really hyper interested in your career. Um, yeah, they just start spewing dust. So they can say whatever they want to say to try to attract leveled up women, but leveled up women who have discernment, who are wise, who are patient and take their time, who are not in a rush, leveled up women who are not desperate, and but they're very yeah, they're very discerning and can read between the lines, and hear even the unsaid, and sense what's going on. They're not going to move forward with your dust offer. They're just not. Like, yeah, you might have got me in the inbox, right? Because you said you're successful and established. So therefore you got a hello from me. But we're not going much past that. If you're not backing, like if you're truly successful and you're truly established and you're truly all of these things, then you should be offering things that are in alignment with that. So if you say that to hook in a leveled up woman to your inbox, but then you start spewing dust talking about Starbucks and shit, we immediately know it's smoke and mirrors. Now, let me give you one little caveat about the drink offers, especially for those of you who just like kind of want to get some conversation. Maybe you have like the objective to just work on your conversation or work on being comfortable in certain areas. Now, coffee, no. Okay, let's just take that off the table. We're not doing coffee. We're going to do we're going to order the most expensive cocktail on the menu if you want to take me for a drink, right? So, usually coffee and drink are usually interchangeable, right? So, if you must, because if you have another objective, um, and the drink can work into your overall thing of what you're trying to do, then do it, right? So if you must do it, this is how you do it. You're going to meet him at an off period of time. You're not going to meet him at prime time, right? You're not going to meet him Saturday night at 7. Do not let him monopolize your prime time. Your evening, your Saturday night is reserved for ballers. Okay, it's reserved for five-star restaurants. It is reserved for the opera. It is reserved for the symphony. It is reserved for a trip out of town. It is reserved for the man who can afford that slot of your time. Okay. So he ain't going to get 7 p.m., 8 p.m. on a Saturday, period. You're going to meet him at an off time, like 4 o'clock on a Saturday or something, or 4 o'clock on a Sunday, just some odd hour that's not lunch and it's not quite dinner, and it's kind of like off the beaten path, right? You're gonna like if he's gonna offer you a drink, you're gonna offer him a crappy time. All right. So that's the only time that you can meet because you're booked at it. Woo, woo, woo. And usually they'll say, meet me for a drink. So you're literally going to have a drink, not two, not three, not appetizers, not any of that. I'm going to have a drink because that's what you invited me for, a drink. You get and then pick an expensive restaurant that has a nice bar. And get dressed up, woo, 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 and then have something to do afterwards. Go freestyle, go meet up with your girlfriends, go on a date with another man, um, have something to do right after you have your drink. Set your phone on vibrate for 45 minutes and have your phone in your purse and have your purse on your person. At that 45-minute mark, your phone is going to buzz, you're going to feel it. You're going to have to go. If you didn't finish your drink, too bad. You don't get to finish it. 45 minutes is all he gets. And then if he's like, "Where are you going?" Say, "Oh, I made dinner reservations. I have to go." Or if you meet him earlier, say, "Oh, I made lunch reservations. I have to go." And so that way he'll know, like, if you want my time, you have to actually book dinner, period. It could kind of work for you because a lot of times they'll be left wanting more. They'll be left feeling stupid, like, damn, why didn't I just invite this girl to dinner? She's so beautiful, she smells amazing, her hand was so soft, she looks so good. Why didn't I invite her to dinner? Like he should feel stupid. He should feel stupid. Now don't do this with a dusty because it ain't gonna never uh it ain't gonna never, advance past the drinks. Okay. This would be with someone who has, the established career that it could possibly be something that you can go out a few times and, see how it goes. But that's how I would do the drink if I had to. Now, me right now, where I'm sitting right now, I'm not gonna do that because I don't have time. My time is much more limited. And sometimes like I be wanting to say yes, but I think about my Cartier perfume, and I'm like, do I really want? I mean, like, I kind of feel like I don't even want to spray my perfume on. My makeup is very expensive. I just like, I can't make it make sense in my head. You know what I mean? I can't make it make sense in my head that I'm going to go through my whole process of getting ready. It takes me like an hour and a half to get dressed, um, and do everything, hair, makeup, all of that. And to meet you for a drink, I just kind of feel like if I'm investing this much into the situation, because I'm not going to be half stepping, if I'm investing this much into the situation, but you're not willing to invest into a dinner, even if you can, you're not willing to do that, I feel disincentivized to do what I have to do on my end as a woman. I don't feel motivated. Me personally, I don't feel motivated to do all that I need to do to go meet you for right now where I'm sitting right now. And with my time and my energy levels and all the stuff I have to do. Now, if you don't have kids, you don't have like all the stuff that I have, you might have more energy for it. Everybody's different. But my energy level and my time level, I just I just don't have the motivation. I just don't. So, anywho, if you gotta do it, I would do it like that. I would do it something like what I just described. And then rush out of there and go somewhere else. So that way he will learn that if he wants your time, he has to actually make reservations at a restaurant, okay? And actually provide a full meal, and not try to be cheap and talk about or try to audition you and have you, have drinks. And then, because a lot of times what these guys do is they use this whole drink situation as an audition, and they already know, like, some of them can't afford the dinner and that's not an issue. They're just trying to like audition you. And that's just an energy that you don't want to be in. Like, oh well, I'm gonna see if I want to invite you to dinner. Like, no. We're not fit to do that. We do not audition. Okay. So sometimes they'll try to do that whole meet me at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and for drinks. And then they're like, well, if I like her, I'll invite her to dinner. But it's like, well, why should you monopolize your whole night? Like, what if you could have accepted a better date offer? You know what I mean? Why should you give him a big chunk of your time when he hasn't even wanted to commit to having a full dinner. But that's what a lot of times they'll do. They're like, well, I'll invite her for a drink, and if I like her, or if I can get what I want, then I'll invite her for a dinner after the drink, you know? Or sometimes they'll try to get free time, like, oh, let's have a drink and walk around. No, no, leveled up women don't do that. Usually we have on heels, and we're not about to be walking around with you. I'm gonna have the drink and I'm leaving. See, this is what like cheap dusties try to do this. Like, you really want a full date, right? You want to sit down and maybe have an hour or two to just sit and talk and be close to the woman, right? Smell her pheromones and all that jazz. That's what you want. But you want to be cheap, and so you want to say, "Oh, well, let's have a drink and then walk around." Yeah, of course you're getting blocked. Of course, you're getting blocked because it's just disrespectful is not the word I want to use. It's just the audacity. It's just the audacity to even suggest that I'm gonna walk around with you in 4 or 5 inch heels anywhere. I'm walking from the valet to the table. I'm not about to walk around with you. Especially not on a first date. Now, I mean, down the line, I'm totally down for like activity things like, canoeing or uh whatever, golf or whatever. I'm totally down for um activity dates down the line. That's with a man that you have established a rapport with. That's a man who you have an established something with, and then you get to that point that you're doing those kinds of things, but you most certainly aren't going to start off meeting someone on a hiking trail. Like, no. w- you know we don't do that over here. Somebody somewhere might do that with you, but I mean, that's just not what we're trying to do. The reason why we do lots of dinner dates at the beginning, because we need to hear you talk, right? We need to gather information about you. And so we need you to talk. We need to be close to you. We need to see how you interact. We need to see how you are in public. Um, and we also need to test your generosity. And we need to test your disposable income. Imagine you going on 8 free dates with someone and you have no idea that he is like living in his mother's basement because you couldn't tell because you went hiking with him, then y'all went walking around, then y'all went to the park and y'all ate ice cream, then he took you for coffee, then he took you to a free museum, then y'all went to the library, and y'all didn't spend all this time together. You've been spending all these weeks with him, and you had no idea he lives in his mother's basement, ain't got no damn job, right? Because you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell because you've been doing cheap, dusty things with him. If you would have requested a nice restaurant from the beginning, he would have had a conniption fit and a meltdown and called you a gold digger, and you would have knew from the beginning that he was dusty. You see, and you wouldn't have been 8 dates deep. You see what I'm saying? There's a method to the madness. There's a method to what we're doing. It's not arbitrary. There is a reason why we do the things the way we do, and there's a reason why we do them in the order that we do them in, because we need to know. Like, yeah, we could go to the lake or go somewhere and get and rent bikes and ride it around. Sure, eventually, you know what I mean? Eventually. And especially if somebody has been like so generous with you and da 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 da, like you might even want to watch Netflix, like especially if he's paying bills, right? If he's paying bills and giving you money and you went shopping earlier that day, you went shopping with your girlfriends and got your nails done and he paid for all of that, and then now y'all want to watch Netflix, you are more than welcome to watch Netflix, bro. Okay? Watch all the Netflix you want. Watch all the Netflix you want. Chill, order in, take out, pizza, whatever. It don't matter at that point because this man then gave you the money for you to do whatever you want earlier in the day. You didn't already spend a good amount of money. So if you want a Netflix at that point, whatever at that point. But of course, you're not gonna sit up here and pay your own bills and put gas in your own car and buy your own clothes and pay for your own nails and then deliver yourself to him, to his couch to watch Netflix. Now that's stupid. That's what we're definitely not doing that in 2023. Okay? We're we're not doing that in 2023. All right, y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all longer on the line. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I do promise that I have that Christmas content coming up soon so that we can start getting ready for that. And in the meantime, y'all have a blessed day or night whenever you're tuning in, whenever you catch this replay, and we'll talk soon. Bye.